Donald Trump has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let me repeat that. Donald Trump has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. According to multiple sources and as reported by the Daily Mail and others, Pam Bondi was begging not to be fired last night before Donald Trump gave the address to the nation when Trump told her, "I'm going to fire you." She was begging over and over again. We're hearing it was very dramatic. She was almost crying. "Please don't fire me." Well, she just got fired moments ago. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will now serve as the acting Attorney General. Donald Trump posted a message that Pam Bondi will now be in private practice. She will be far away from the government, although she'll probably use her private practice job to do things with the government. But more on that later. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot, Donald Trump posted, and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. They were already plummeting under former President Biden. Donald Trump goes, "We love Pam." I'll translate that for you. "Don't tell anybody about the Epstein secrets, Pam." He goes, "We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector." Pause there. What, probably helping people get pardons with your administration, with her family? "To be announced at a date in the near future." Why would you have anything to do with that? And our Deputy Attorney General, a very talented and respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. "Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump." As I mentioned, the Daily Mail exclusive, Bondi begged Donald Trump not to fire her during dramatic White House showdown, as Insider reveals his final straw. Also, the Daily Mail reporting that Trump told Pam Bondi shortly before the Iran speech on Wednesday night that she would soon be fired. Trump's reasoning for the sudden dismissal comes in part because the president believes Bondi tipped off Eric Swalwell about the FBI's efforts to release investigative documents relating to his relationship with Christine. I think it has a lot more to do with the Epstein files and the cover-up that Donald Trump wanted being botched by Pam Bondi. But okay, this was the moment where state regime media, which calls itself Fox News, confirmed that Pam Bondi was out as AG and Todd Blanche would be the interim AG. I want you to watch the moment that took place. Let's play this clip.
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else. And in an interim role, she will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in there, but President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks that she is a great person and that she did a good job. And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me, but no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States. That, at least for a little while, is going to be.
Now, what are some of the Democratic Congress members saying? Look, Pam Bondi is set to have her deposition taken before the House Oversight Committee on April 14th. She's still under subpoena, so what's going to happen to that? Democratic Congress member Maxwell Frost posts, Pam Bondi still has to testify under oath in front of the Oversight Committee regarding the Epstein files. This does not get her out of that bipartisan, lawful subpoena. We will see her soon. Democratic Congresswoman Summer Lee posts, so glad I didn't listen to James Comer when he told me to stop bitching about impeaching Bondi and holding her accountable. As you're aware, Congresswoman Lee was leading the impeachment efforts, and the impeachment documents were going to be introduced as soon as Democrats took control of Congress, and Bondi would have been impeached. Pablo Manriquez, MeidasTouch DC correspondent, writes, someone needs to find Jamie Raskin so he can say, who's the washed up loser lawyer now, Bondi? Remember, though, last week, too, there was a sign that I was focused on a lot that Bondi's days were numbered when MAGA Republican Congress member James Comer was also throwing Bondi under the bus. Watch this. Let's play it.
Well, I think the Justice Department has botched this. I don't think anyone in America, Republican or avid Trump supporter, would defend the way that this has been rolled out. Having said that, it's very complicated because of all the lawsuits. And here's another thing.
And let's just rewind a little bit and watch Bondi's career collapse. Remember back in February when Bondi gave that interview on state regime media, right when they pulled that stunt with the influencers at the White House holding the fake Epstein files, that little thin binder. And then she's like, okay. That wasn't it, but I've got the files on my desk. Remember that? Play this clip.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Remember when she called Jamie Raskin a washed up lawyer? Remember that? You are a washed up loser lawyer. Okay, Pam Bondi, you're telling a constitutional scholar Congress member that he's a washed up loser lawyer? Okay, here, play this clip.
I mean, you can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
45 seconds.
Okay.
Remember Bondi's crash out over Epstein, her famous line, the Dow is over 50,000. Here, play this clip.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year.
And then remember the stunt Bondi tried to pull 3 weeks ago, where you could see how desperate she was with 24 hours notice, the way she tried to get out of her April 14th subpoena date where she's going to be deposed by the House Oversight Committee. She showed up in front of the House Oversight Committee on 24 hours notice voluntarily. She's like, I'm showing up to talk to you about Epstein. And then she's like, I'm going to tell you everything I would say at the deposition, but I'm just not going to do it under oath. And the Democrats walked out. They're like, we're not going to be with this charade. Like, we're not going to be there at all. Like, you're just trying to get out of your subpoena deposition. And the Democrats walked out, and then she left, and people are like, so are you going to try to avoid your April 14th deposition? You know, you're still under subpoena. And she was like, I will follow what the law says. Well, if you were going to follow what the law says, you shouldn't be covering up the Epstein files, and you're still concealing millions of documents. Here, play this clip.
Sure. Earlier this month, a bipartisan group of lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena you to appear for a closed-door deposition. Will you commit to complying with that subpoena and appearing for a closed-door deposition?
I made it crystal clear I will follow the law.
Most recently, Donald Trump said, though, that Bondi is terrific. She's proving how tough she is. The next 3 years, she's going to really prove how tough she is. And again, this was pretty recently when Donald Trump said this. So just goes to show you he'll make comments like that, and then he'll fire you in a second, even if you beg the way Pam Bondi was apparently begging. Here, let's play the clip of Donald Trump saying, she's terrific. She's proving how tough she is. Play this clip.
Not going to let anything bad happen to this country. Also with us are Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's a terrific person and fan. And she's proving how tough she is, and I think the next 3 years she's going to really prove it, right? Huh? Like these people.
And then I guess to try to save her job before she was fired. Remember, she was on state regime media recently saying, being a citizen in this country is a privilege. It's not a right. It's quite literally a constitutional right if you're a citizen in the United States. But she goes, it's a privilege. This was her trying to save her job. Here, let's play this clip.
Lied about their marriage to get in this country. You can't do that. Being a citizen in our country is a privilege. It's not a right. And Donald Trump is going to have everyone in this country who deserves to be here who's a citizen. And yeah, sure, it could be faster, it could be easier, but I think we're moving at lightning speed given what we're up against.
I'm thinking about the Old Dominion shooter.
So Pam Bondi's days are numbered. She botched Donald Trump's desire to cover up the Epstein files. By the way, did you see our 5:30 a.m. video this morning where we perfectly predicted and called what was going to happen, right? Now they're going to bring in new people. Lee Zeldin, the EPA director, he's being considered to be the new attorney general. Right now, Todd Blanche is going to fill the role of acting attorney general. But bye-bye, Pam Bondi. See you later. You're fired. See you later, Pam Bondi. And remember, recently we saw Kristi Noem fired, and then we've seen everything going on behind the scenes, there with her family and the hypocrisy. Pam Bondi's now gone, and now we're hearing Tulsi Gabbard is basically next. And I think there's a commonality to that. They're all women, in my view. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.